We're including a new hero in the Fellowship Public Playtest during Steam Next Fest starting on February 24th. Now this big guy here is Tariq, a heavy-hitting melee DPS that, if you can get your timings down, will pump out huge damage. But let's start from the start. There are a couple of things here on the HUD that we need to keep an eye on. You've got your Fury bar below Tariq here, and then on the right we have our swing timer, which is going to be very important. Now it looks quite slow, but don't let that fool you. It's going to fill up, it's going to turn red, and then it's going to reset. But we have a lot to pack into this window. Now I'm going to agree with you, the auto attack looks a bit underwhelming, but that is intended. The first thing we're going to weave into our rotation is our heavy strike. The core thing we need to focus on here is ending with a heavy strike every time that the swing timer is about to reset. It hits really, really hard, and if we're not squeezing in a heavy strike every time it resets, we are missing out on really, really valuable damage. The next thing we want to work into our rotation is Tariq's wild swing. You'll notice it does some cleave damage, but the other important thing to note is that enemies will have an increased chance to dodge this. That's going to be really important when we start looking at our next skill. You should be able to fit in 3 wild swings before you queue up your next heavy strike. That way, you know you're getting the most damage out of this rotation so far. We often like to describe Tariq's rotation as pretty rhythmic, it's quite musical. So if you're weaving in 3 of your wild swings and then doing a heavy strike, you're gonna kind of have like that 4 beats in a bar type feel. Now when an enemy dodges or Tariq misses an attack, you'll have access to your third skill, which is Face Breaker. Now if you're adding Face Breaker procs off the global cooldown into your rhythm, you're going to start to get something that's kind of feeling a bit syncopated. And you'll quickly notice that if you can pull it off, you're increasing your damage a whole lot. You'll see that we've generated a lot of fury, and we're definitely going to need a way to spend this. Both of Tariq's spenders are going to use half his bar of fury, so 50. The first one I'm going to use here on the bar is Skull Crusher, which is going to be a big amount of single target damage. The second one I have here is Hammer Storm, which is going to use half of your bar's fury at most, and it's going to do a bunch of AoE damage. Going a little bit deeper into Tariq's toolkit, you have his Leap Smash, which is a great way to initiate a fight and build up that first bit of fury that you're going to need to start spending. You then have his Pummel there on Shift 2, which you can use to interrupt enemies' abilities. You may have also noticed a couple of other skills on the hotbar that look a little bit different. We've got some lightning to add into the mix as well. So we've got Thunder Call, and if you look really closely, it's on a 45-second cooldown, but it lasts for about 20 seconds. We've got so much uptime on this, and it will enhance the abilities that we've already got in our rotation, adding to your DPS even more. But when we've got Thunder Call going, you'll be able to add Chain Lightning into that rotation, and things are going to get pretty hectic. Of course, Tariq has a Spirit ability as well, and when you have the resource for it, you'll be able to use Raging Tempest, which is going to push your damage way over the edge. As you progress through the beta, there are a bunch of other skills that you'll unlock as well, and we can't wait to see how you use them. Kind of ironically, in our own tests of Tariq, we've noticed that players can get a little bit tunnel vision, which reinforces that kind of berserker fantasy in a weird way. You'll notice that you kind of get obsessed with fitting as many things into your swing timer rotation as possible, and maybe you're going to neglect that you need to be interrupting certain enemies and collaborating with other people in your team in certain ways, making sure your positioning is right. But we feel like that's kind of fun, and it reinforces exactly what Tariq is all about. Make sure to join in the conversation over on our Discord, and we can't wait to see you in game really, really soon.